Welcome to Black X Wolf Entertainment, where legends come to life. Today we bring you Chapter 14 of Blade of Honor, Blade of Gold, the Battle of Kinryū Temple. Stay tuned for a tale of honor, betrayal, and the true cost of greed. The Ronin's feet tread heavily upon the worn stone steps that lead to Kinryū Temple. Each step echoes the weight of his journey, the cursed blade of gold strapped to his side. The once proud warrior is now a shadow of his former self, burdened not only by the blade, but by the souls it had claimed. The towering pagodas of the temple loom in the distance, illuminated by the fading sun. Red and gold banners flutter in the wind, their silent dance contrasting with the tension building in the air. As the Ronin reaches the temple grounds, the calm before the storm is palpable. He knows this is no sanctuary, but a battleground. His journey to cleanse the katana has led him here, but it seems fate has other plans. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps, hundreds of them, echo through the sacred grounds. From behind the trees and temple walls, the Daimyo's forces emerge. Swords gleam in the dying sunlight. Spears and naginatas glint as rows of warriors take formation. At their helm stands the Daimyo, clad in elaborate armor, eyes gleaming with ambition. "Hand over the blade of gold, Ronin," the Daimyo commands, his voice a chilling blend of authority and greed. "You are no longer its rightful bearer." The Ronin's grip tightens on the hilt of the cursed katana. His once clear code of honor has been clouded by greed, but something inside him still clings to the remnants of his bushido. He stands tall despite the weight of the curse. "No one is worthy of this blade," he replies, voice cold. "Not you, not me." Without further words, the Daimyo raises his hand, and the first wave of soldiers charge forward. They rush the Ronin with war cries that fill the temple grounds, the clash of metal echoing soon after. The Ronin draws the blade of gold in a fluid motion, its golden sheen almost blinding in the twilight. With precise movements, he cuts through the first soldiers like paper. The sword moves almost on its own, its cursed power feeding off the battle's energy. The Ronin feels the surge of strength coursing through him. The blade slices through armor and flesh alike with terrifying ease. The enemy falls one after another, but with each victory he feels the curse sinking deeper into his soul. He no longer feels the burden of his wounds or the fatigue of battle. All he feels is the blade's hunger for more, but the Daimyo's forces are vast. For every soldier the Ronin strikes down, two more take their place. The temple grounds become a sea of chaos, swords clashing, arrows flying through the air, the scent of blood filling the wind. Still the Ronin fights on, the blade of gold fueling his every strike, pushing him beyond the limits of mortal men. In the midst of the carnage, a familiar figure steps forward, one that chills the Ronin to his core. His old rival, the same samurai he had dueled beneath the Torii Gate. The rival's eyes burn with vengeance, and he too has been drawn to the power of the blade of gold. "So you still live," the Ronin mutters under his breath. "You should have killed me when you had the chance," the rival replies, drawing his sword. "Now I'll finish what you started." The two warriors clash in an intense duel, the sound of their blades ringing out above the din of battle. Their movements are quick, precise, years of training in each stroke. It's a contest of skill, but more than that, it's a test of will. The Ronin, fueled by the blade's curse, moves with inhuman speed and strength, but his rival is relentless, undeterred by the power of the katana. The duel stretches on, their blades locking and breaking apart in rapid succession. For a moment, it seems the rival might gain the upper hand. He delivers a powerful strike that forces the Ronin back, but the cursed blade's power surges through the Ronin, allowing him to push forward and strike a decisive blow. The rival falls, his eyes wide with shock as he realizes he is no match for the power of the blade of gold. But as his life fades, a smile crosses his face. "You may have won, but you've already lost." The Ronin watches as the life drains from his rival's eyes, but those final words hang heavy in the air. Victory, once sweet, now tastes bitter. The Ronin, bloodied but unbroken, turns to face the Daimyo himself. The daimyo steps forward, surrounded by his most elite guards. His expression is one of both admiration and greed. "You have proven yourself, Ronin," he says. "But you're a fool to think that you can keep the blade of gold for yourself. It will destroy you, just as it has destroyed all those before you." The Ronin says nothing, only raising his sword in silent defiance. The daimyo motions for his guards to attack. The Ronin, now weary, prepares for his final stand. The battle that ensues is fierce, more brutal than any before. The elite guards are highly skilled, their blades sharp and their movements precise, but the Ronin fights with a desperation born of survival, his body moving on instinct, fueled by the cursed blade's relentless hunger. One by one, the daimyo's elite guards fall, but the Ronin is left battered, his body barely holding on. The daimyo, sensing victory, draws his own sword and approaches. As the Ronin and daimyo face off, the Ronin's mind begins to race. He is close to collapsing, his body and spirit pushed to their limits. But even now, he can feel the blade urging him on, whispering promises of even more power. He knows that if he gives in, he will lose whatever shred of honor he still holds dear. The daimyo strikes first, and the Ronin parries with all his remaining strength. The fight is brutal, their swords clashing with each blow, each strike more desperate than the last. Finally, with one final burst of energy, the Ronin disarms the daimyo, sending his sword clattering to the ground. But the victory is hollow. The Ronin stands over the defeated daimyo, the blade of gold glowing in his hand. The power it offers is seductive, and for a moment he considers striking the daimyo down and taking his place. But then a realization hits him. The blade has taken everything from him, his honor, his friends, his sense of self, and now it wants his soul. The Ronin, standing over the defeated daimyo, is left with a choice. One that will shape not only his fate, but the fate of the blade of gold. Will he succumb to the greed that has plagued him, or will he find a way to break free from its curse? Stay tuned for the final chapter of Blade of Honor, Blade of Gold, only on Black X Wolf Entertainment, where legends come to life. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss the epic conclusion.